I got introduced to Kanban by Daniel Vacanti and Steve Porter when I did the participated in the first professional Scrum with Kanban class back in 2018, late 17, early 18. And I didn't fundamentally understand at the time the value of this different way of thinking, of this observational tool. I think it's quite important to understand that Kanban is not a system itself. That's why Pro Kanban and the Kanban guide talks about it as a strategy. It's a strategy for understanding your existing system and then actively managing the flow of work through that existing system. And we talked about it in that context, within the context of a Scrum team, and how we can actively manage the flow of work within the system, use the Kanban metrics to augment our existing, perhaps awesome Scrum process in order to really understand the predictability that we're getting and increase that predictability for the business. Because lots of teams do struggle with their ability to deliver. They struggle with getting to the end of the sprint and having working product. They struggle with consistently getting working product. They struggle with the quantity of working product, and that creates fear in the business because the business are paying a lot of money to get stuff, and they feel like they're getting that stuff in fits and starts in an unpredictable way, right? They feel like it's not what they asked for, it doesn't cost what they thought it would, and it's not delivered when they thought it would. And part of that is because they can't see what's going on. They can't. We're not giving them any information. The standard Scrum team is not giving the business any information to reassure them they're not doing transparency, right? They're not increasing the transparency to a level where the people viewing who need to understand actually understand what's going on. And that creates that fear that means that we want to have more control, right? When we fear something isn't working out, when we fear that our money isn't being spent well, we want to take more control of that thing. And that's the knee jerk regression that we get from a lot of teams in organizations when a lot of teams move towards Scrum, because they take away some of the tools for measuring productivity from the teams, right? Because in Agile, we don't measure productivity. They take that stuff away, but then they don't replace it with anything. And because they don't replace it with anything, transparency drops, fear increases, and then we want to go back to the old way. So a Kanban strategy, and this is something that I've learned really over the last 5 years of working with Daniel Vacanti and the Kanban guide and Pro Kanban, is that the only way to be successful is to use a Kanban strategy, because we need to understand our predictability. We need to understand and actively manage the flow of work through the system, and we are not going to be successful if we don't do that. So I recommend a Kanban strategy for any team doing anything in any context. That's right. Any team doing anything in any context. If you're a marketing team delivering marketing contents, if you're a software team delivering software and you're using Scrum, you're a software team using Safe, you're a software team using something else that you made up yourself, or you're a management team managing portfolio, or I don't know, I'm trying to think of other things. If you work in a factory and you're delivering stuff, you should be using a Kanban strategy. In all of those contexts, that is the metrics you need in order to then be successful, right? Because those metrics create transparency. Transparency allows you to make better decisions and ask more interesting questions. And those interesting questions and better decisions result in more effective flow, or stop doing the thing that you thought of. And that's why Kanban is so important to the strategy for every team building anything in any company. If you want to have a discussion about your unique needs or situation, then please book a call or visit us at nakedagility.com. We also have our immersive and traditional public classes on our website, and we'd love to hear from you.